What's up, y'all? This your girl Jazz, and we are back for another episode of Sisters. This is season 7, episode 9. So let's get into it. We got a whole lot to talk about because this episode was actually really good. Okay, so it picks up where it left off. Well, no, it didn't leave off, but it picks up at the hospital. And Zach is in the waiting room and he is waiting on the results. Karen comes out, child, and she walking like we should overcome. She walking like she wading in the water, baby. She is walking with the look of I should not be moved, baby. She is, honey, she is walking like she is, child, she walking like she's scared. She walking like she tired. She looking shocked, all of that. And she walked over to Zach real timid. She did not look happy at all. And so she walked over to Zach and Zach was like, "What's wrong?" And the first words out of her mouth was, "Zach, I think you're going to need to pay double the child support." And so Zach was like, "What?" And she said, "I'm having twins." And so he said, "What? Are you serious?" And I really want people to pay attention to not just the words that these characters are saying, but I'll pay attention to the body language as well as the words. Because Zach said, "We're having twins." She says, I'm having twins." After she starts off with, "Zach, I think you're gonna need to pay double the child support." So you're telling him he's gonna pay double the child support, but not we're having twins, just you are having the twins. Okay, sis. Anyway, so he's excited. He was like, "Man, I'm getting double everything. I'm getting double strollers. Double, I'm getting double mint gum. I'm getting double strollers. I'm getting double Corvettes. I'm getting double everything. Wait, so they all mine?" And she was like, I haven't gotten the results back." He says, "Well, I don't care about that anyway." He's so excited about the fact that there's twins in there. He doesn't even care. He doesn't even care, which tells me what I've always said, that whether the babies now, but whether the kids are his or not, Zach plans on taking care of the kids. And the gag is, Karen knows that and has always known that. Anyway, so he's like, oh my God, yay. So he's super excited. And so he's like, "Can I hug you?" And so he hugs her, and he does not pick up on the fact that she's not happy about this at all. She's not excited. She smiles, but the smile is fake. He does not pick up on this at all. And so Fatima walks in, sees them hugging. Zach sees Fatima and immediately lets Karen go. And see, this is what I don't like that Zach does, is he is super affectionate and stuff with Karen. And this is why I keep saying Zach is one way with Karen when it's just them. He's another way with Fatima when it's just them. But then when all the three of them are together, he's another way. You know what I'm saying? So Fatima comes in and he's like, "Oh, wait." And like he immediately lets Karen go, like, I can't be hugging on you, right? And so that's the energy that's the energy that he has. But so Fatima's like, "What's all the excitement?" And he goes, "Babe, guess what?" And she's like, "What's up? What?" "I'm having twins. Karen's having twins. I put 2 of them things in there. I put 2 keys in there. I put that key in that thing and I whop." That's all I could think about is on Kevin Hart. Seriously funny. "I put that key in that thing and I locked it." That's all I could think about. I actually put that on my Twitter. I actually put my Twitter. I actually put my Twitter in my I put my Twitter handle in the description. Feel free to follow if you don't already. Anyway, so Fatima was like, twins, what? And here's the thing. Zach lacks emotional intelligence badly. He he lacks emotional awareness, something serious. Because Zach, you are so hung up and hell bent on being a father, which I want to be clear. There is nothing more beautiful than a black man being excited about being a dad. And I am so happy that they are showcasing a black man being excited about being a dad, because unfortunately we see the opposite in the real world. We see we don't see we've seen the opposite. Okay, so shout out to this black man being happy about being a father, wanting to raise other black children, especially since he didn't grow up with the father. So I get that. I 1000% get that. However, he literally could have just kept it at, Fatima, guess what? Karen is having twins. He could have just kept it at that. The fact that he said, Fatima, guess what? Karen is having twins. I put 2 of them things in there. You did not have to go as far to tell your fiance, the woman that you are marrying, the woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with, that you pumped your ex twice and she is having 2 of your babies. Possibly. Allegedly. Maybe. You don't even questionably. You don't even know. Y'all don't know. Which is another thing. You have no idea if these babies are yours. They could be yours. They could be not. They could not be yours. You have no clue, sir. So, yes, that happened. So he was like, and here's another thing that I noticed about that scene. Normally, and this is another thing that Zach did not pick up on. Normally, Karen would be ready to, yeah. That's why, hey, nanny, boo boo. I'm having a Zach or two. But this time, she ain't do nothing. She ain't have no smoke for Fatima at all. She ain't say nothing to Fatima. And Zach was like, show her, Karen, show her the ultrasound. And Karen was submissive and showed it to her. Now, of course, she was a little hesitant, but still, she did it. And another thing that I noticed in this scene is Fatima actually studied it. She studied the mess out of that sonogram. And one thing that we know about Fatima is very thorough. Fatima don't miss nothing. So if we know anything about Fatima's character, Fatima paid attention to the fact that those twins probably, and this is just the jazz justification. This is just the jazz speculation. Fatima probably noticed the fact that those twins was in 2 separate sacks, because when she was studying the heck out of it, right? She probably noticed that those twins was in 2 separate sacks. She probably noticed the date on there, because sonograms have dates on them. Sonograms have how many weeks you are. All of that. She probably noticed how many weeks Karen is. She probably noticed the date of conception. She probably noticed the date that Karen is probably supposed to have the baby. All of that. All of that. She probably noticed all of that and made mental notes of all of that before Zach was like, okay, baby, okay, babe, you can give it back now. You can give it back now. All of that. So Karen stepped to the side because her mom was calling. Stepped to the side. She was like, "Hey, mom, I knew you wasn't gonna be able to make my appointment and yours, but I'm fine. The baby's fine, but I do have something I want to tell you. I'll meet you at the salon." And so she was like, "Okay, y'all, I gotta go." So Karen left, and Fatima left. Zach tried to kiss her. She didn't want to kiss, but of course, Zach is super excited. So that scene happened. Karen calls everybody. She called Danny, she called Sabrina, and she called Andy. Told all of them that she wanted them to come to her house later on, and she had some news for them. After she got off the phone with Sabrina, which I'ma dig real deep into this because I got some smoke for Sabrina. Sabrina calls Maurice and tells Maurice that she was like, yeah, I went to my appointment today and Karen was there. And Maurice was like, "Oh, B, tell me what happened. Tell me what happened." So she was like, "Yeah, she was there for her appointment with her babies." And he was like, "Oh yeah, child, that baby mama, baby daddy drama." Maurice was making slick comments about Karen or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. I may not agree with everything Karen does, but one thing I definitely don't agree with is Sabrina getting on the phone with Maurice, a guy who Karen does not know and who Karen ain't even friends with, talking about Karen's business. Now, I'ma also say this. I see a whole lot in the Sisters on BET fandom about how Danny is wrong, how Danny be wrong for even talking to Fatima and being friends with Fatima, or Andy is wrong for talking to Fatima and being friends with Fatima, or how the fact that Fatima is wrong for quote unquote being friends with Karen's friends. I don't see nobody saying nothing about Sabrina getting on the phone with Maurice and telling Maurice Karen's business. Where that smoke at? Drop in the comments what y'all think about that, because I personally think that that's worse. The fact that Sabrina is getting on the phone with a whole dude that Karen don't even know, telling her business, that's messy. Messy as heck. I don't like it at all. Not one bit. And I got some other smoke for Sabrina too. But anywho, so that happened. What else happened in this episode? Andy meets with Penelope and tells Penelope that she got some information, some inside scoop about Gary from her homeboy that she went to law school with. And she was like, "Look, I found out some information about Gary, and the information that I have found out, you need to run while you still can, sis, because you in danger. You and your baby is in danger. For the sake of you and your baby, you need to get away from Gary because he is the devil in the freaking flesh, okay?" Gary, she was like, Gary caught his first body, and his first body was a female when he was either in middle school or high school, and she was a woman. She was his ex-girlfriend because he didn't want to go to prom with her. He didn't want to go to the sock hop with her, something like that, something crazy like that. But basically, long story short, Gary been unaliving women since he was a teenager, basically. And he been getting rid of their bodies and stuff like that, and he just ain't got caught. And Andy told Penelope about this, and Penelope is shook. And she was like, and Andy was like, "Look, sis, I got a plan in place. I got somewhere that you can go. I got a friend that's willing to help you. He gonna take it, and he can make sure you straight, make sure your baby straight, all of that. Go home while Gary is at work. Get everything you can. Get you some clothes, get money, grab whatever you can, and get out. I got the plan in motion. I got everything that you need. You just get what you can and go." Honestly, Shout out to Andy for this. She is doing for her what nobody did. Andy is doing for Penelope what nobody did for her when she was in the situation. Because nobody offered the help for her. And I'm talking about Jasmine. If you go back to season 1, Jasmine basically just put her on game. It was like, look, this is how Gary is, and that's that. You know, Andy is actually offering her help, assistance, and all of that. So shout out to Andy. Shout out to Andy for that. You know. And so yeah, that was that. It goes to Gary. Gary calls Miss Marie, who is the billionaire, the older billionaire woman, to his office because he was trying to throw salt in the game on Andy because he does not want Andy to make partner, right? So he calls her up and she comes over to his office and she's like, "You need to get some air fresheners or something." She starts going in on him immediately. She was like, "Is that how you greet an older woman?" And so he stands up, he greets her or whatever. And you can tell that the mere presence of her has him shook because he started knocking stuff over on his desk and all of that. So he offers her a seat. She sits down and he starts going in on Andy. And well, first, he was like, why won't you invest in me? And she was like, she was like, nigga, you know why I want to invest in you. And so she was like, nigga, you know why I want to invest in you. And so he was like, I just had some investor problems. I just had some investor problems along the way. And she said, nigga, you are the investor problem along the way. I said, yes, OG, triple OG, you better get him together. I need me an OG billionaire friend. Lord, I see what you've done for others. Please bless me with an OG billionaire friend that can give me solid advice. Okay, that can give me solid advice that I can take notes from, that I can have wisdom. Hear my prayer, Lord. Okay. Anyway, so he's like, look, I wanted to talk to you about your dealings with Andrea Barnes. She is not good. She's not good. She's not professional. She's not a businesswoman. I met her because I started dealing with her when she represented my wife. And when she represented my wife, she seduced me and all of this stuff. She seduced me and she's just not good, and she is promiscuous, and she's out, he started going in on them. And so Miss Marie sat back in her chair. She was just listening. She was like, I'm intrigued. And I said, oh, I like where this is going. I was like, oh, she look like she about to read him. And so, and boy, did she read him. She said, well, first of all, you've known me long enough to know I don't walk into a room nor do I do business with anybody. You know that I'm thorough, and you know that I don't walk into a room or do business with anybody without doing my homework on them. And he said, yeah, I know that. And she said, okay. So then if you know that, then you know that I know that it was you. I know then you know that I know that it was you who that's been involved with Miss Barnes. You got Miss Barnes that penthouse. You got Miss Barnes that Rolls Royce. You got her. You got her all of that stuff. I also know that you was behind the scandal with Jordan. You did all of that. And he didn't do none of it. You did all of it to try to bring him down. And I must say, Andy must know how to work that thing. And you just jealous and you bitter and you a narcissist and you swimming in a deep end. and you need to stop before you drown. Now, go swim alone before you get yourself hurt. And then she just walked out. And he got so mad. And Gary got so mad, he started biting his wrist. Y'all, I need Tyler. I say this every time I do a review. I need Tyler Perry to go ahead and start this spinoff called Surviving Scary Gary. And I need it now. Okay? I need it ASAP. I really do. Because when I tell you the actor, I'm not about to say his name because I would jack it up. But the actor who is playing Gary, when I tell y'all he is playing the heck out of Gary, he really is. Anyway, so that happened. So let's see what else happened. So the girls end up at Karen's house and they all sitting on the couch. I really want to know, why is it that all of them have to sit on that little itty bitty couch? But anyway, I always ask that question every single time they all end up at Karen's house. Why is it that they all end up having to sit on that little small couch? But anyway. So Karen was like, okay, y'all, I have some news. And the news is, and Danny says, I know it. Zach ain't the daddy. Oh my God. Y'all, Danny gonna end up buying a bumper sticker that say that, and Danny gonna end up getting a bumper sticker saying Zach ain't the daddy. I promise she is. Danny gonna end up getting a bumper sticker, and she gonna get a bumper sticker, a button to go on her shirt, something. I swear to God. Anyway, so Karen said, no, that's not it. I ain't got the results back. And she said, the news is I'm having twins. And so Andy and Sabrina was like, oh my God, yay. And so that happened, and Danny was looking like, okay, well, all right. So is Zach the daddy or not? And so Danny is hilarious, man. She is hilarious. She was like, so is Zach the daddy or? So Sabrina was like, oh my God, hey, Auntie Sabrina's here. Okay, so congrats, Karen. I'm excited for you for having twins, but I have to go. Rich is here. He's calling me, and we have a date tonight. So I'm about to go. And Danny was like, well, I'm about to go too. And she was like, congratulations on your buy one get. Danny said, congratulations on your buy one get one free special, but this could have been a text though. Oh my gosh. I want to pause and say this. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that Danny is jealous of Karen. I don't see or know what Danny could possibly be jealous of. But y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want me to dissect that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Danny is jealous of Karen. I think that they just don't like each other. I've always said that. They just don't like each other. And if I'm honest, the girl's just not friends. They're not friends. Period. Anyway, and Andy was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. Karen thought that she was about to bring it in to give her a hug, and Andy was like, not you, I'm talking about them, the twins, and started talking to the twins. I want to pause as a content creator and talk as a Black maternal health advocate / doula for a second. We see this a lot where friends, family, and stuff as soon as they find out what you're having. The love and support goes from you to the kids only. No, not you. Not you. Your baby. As in if the mom does not matter. And that's not okay. So I really do hope as a black maternal health advocate and doula that Karen's friends start to read the room, if you will, and start loving on Karen, because postpartum depression is real. And if we're honest, Karen has been having it. She's been having it. Okay. Back to the show. As a content creator and a fan of the show. Okay. So, the girls left, and Maurice has a guy over, and they're talking. Maurice cooked for him, and I don't know the guy's name. I forgot it. I forgot the guy's name. So whoever remembers the guy's name, please let me know who the guy is, and drop his name in the comments for me. But anyway, so they were talking and stuff. The guy basically tells him, it kind of reminded me of Players Club. When when Lance told Diamond, when you gonna stop working at that club, because I'm getting fed up with this. And and Diamond said, "Oh, was it a dumb club when I met you there?" That's what this conversation reminded. That's what Maurice's conversation reminded me of, because he basically was like, I mean, I met you on OnlyFans, so you can't tell me that I can't stop doing it. You can't. I don't plan on doing this for the rest of my life, but you can't tell me not to do it when I met you there. And I hadn't planned on meeting somebody and getting serious with them, but if you must know, the plan is when my homegirl get back on as branch manager, she plans on hiring me. So that's the tea. Once Sabrina gets back on as branch manager, she plans on hiring Maurice back. So that happened. Goes back to the shop. Yep, it goes back to the shop. Looks like the Rags to Riches products is doing really, really well, actually. And Karen is upset because Pam has her products in the storage closet, and Pam is like, well, you told me I could. And Karen is like, girl, when did I tell you that you could? And she was like, you told me to find somewhere to put my stuff, so I put it there. And Karen has her client, Karen is done with the client that's in her chair. They leave. Miss Lisa comes in, and Pam is like, Miss Lisa, how you like your products? And she was like, I like the products. Everything is cool. Everything's good. So that, that exchange happens or whatever. And Miss Lisa and Karen go to the office, to Karen's office. And so they're talking. Karen tells Miss Lisa that she's having twins. And of course, Miss Lisa is like, twins? Of course, the big question is, how did they not catch that? Karen is like, they said one was hiding behind the other, which is common, which actually is the truth. It is common for one twin to hide behind the other. And if you talk to people who are twins, some people will tell you that. But anyway, and so she was like, well, okay, well, baby, how do you feel about that? She was like, I guess I'm excited. I'm shocked, but I guess, she was mainly focused on the fact that Zach is excited, that Zach is excited about it. And Miss Lisa was like, oh, so this is what I want to dig deep into, and this is what a lot of people are not talking about. Miss Lisa says, oh, so you found out that Zach is the father. So they did do the DNA test and they did find out that Zach is the father. Karen says, well, no, we didn't get the results back, but Zach believes that Zach finally believes me. He finally believes that he is the father. And I know that he is. And Miss Lisa goes, okay, well, I'm just glad that you're happy. But she looks at her daughter like, Karen, you need to stop playing with these niggas. You really need to stop playing with these niggas. That's how that's for me as a person who really do be dissecting shows and be looking at body language. That's how Miss Lisa was looking at her daughter like, Karen, you really need to stop playing with these dudes and you really need to tell these dudes the truth. Okay? Because Karen still has not called Aaron, because Aaron, as much as we do not like to talk about it, as much as a lot of people within the fandom like to say, well, Karen isn't lying. As much as you don't want to admit it, she is. She is. She has not said to Zach at all, there is a possibility that you may not be the father. The only thing that she has said to him is, we'll get the results back in a day or two. Is not saying there is a possibility that you may not be the father. She's just saying, we'll get the results back in a day or two. And she said to her mom in the episode, he finally believes that he's the dad. And he's excited about these twins. He's excited about being a dad. He's excited about these twins. And he finally believes that he's the dad. And I know he is the dad. Karen, honey, that's not how DNA works, Pooh. If everybody else knows that it's a possibility that he's not the dad, except for him, and you are literally letting him believe that he is the dad, and you're not telling him, hey, Zach, I know that you are excited, but it is possible that you do know that there is a possibility that you might not be the father of this baby, that you might not be the father of these kids. That's a lie. And also, it's malicious intent. It's deception. You are planning child support and all of this stuff when you know it's possible that he is not the father. That's malicious. It is deception. Period. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know. Anyway, so get to Zach and Fatima, because that was another big moment in the episode. Get to Zach and Fatima. Fatima comes downstairs, and Zach is looking up. He already looking up stuff for the kids. And again, goes back to what I just said. Zach is already looking up stuff. And Karen has not said to him, hey, you might not want to look up stuff because you may want to hold off until we have the results back. Malicious. Or at home, and Zach is showing Fatima all of the stuff that he has bought for the twins. And Fatima is like, where is Michael? And he was like, he's at therapy, which I don't understand. I don't understand it, because now I know that sometimes special needs children have therapy sessions, or special needs or not. Sometimes children have therapy sessions and the parents are not allowed, if you will. However, I think it's a little odd that Zach did all this snotting and crying to get his son back. He fought Heather's boyfriends, he fought the system, and basically stole his son. He basically stole his son in the middle of the night. He offered to give Heather like $100,000 for his son and all of this stuff. He has his son. He has actual custody of his son. He fought to get his son out of the system because his son actually got sent to the foster care system, and he fought to get his son back and stuff. I had hope personally. I had hope that Zach would have been at the appointment. Now I know that sometimes parents or legal guardians can't go, like I said, can't go in the actual therapy session or what have you, and I get that, especially because I had made a post on Twitter, and I was getting some feedback in my comment section, and some of the people, some of my Twitter friends was like, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes, therapists don't allow parents in certain sessions, and I was like, okay, cool, I get that, I understand that. I personally, me, Jazz, was just thinking Zach did all of that only to come home and not at minimum stay in the car at the office with his son, or at minimum stay outside the office, But anyway, so Fatima was like, "Where's Michael?" And she was like, he said he's still at the therapy session. And she was like, "Oh, okay." And so he was like, look, babe, check this out. Check out everything. I'm getting a double Corvettes. They got this. I'm getting a double Corvettes for the twins. I'm getting all of this stuff. I done got all this stuff for the twins. He's already gotten things for the twins, which kind of goes back to what I was saying. This is why I think it's a little bit. This is why I think that it's a little malicious. The fact that Karen still has not said to Zach, hey, she knows for a fact that it's a possibility that he could not be the father. She's allowing him to believe that he is the father without correcting it, without saying to him, hey, yo, I know you excited, but you do know that it's possible that you're not the dad, right? They need to address that particular elephant in the room, and they're not. The only person that's addressing that elephant is Fatima, But anyway, so Fatima goes, Zach, this is too much. And she was like, Zach, look, you need to stop. And he was like, dang, babe, why you yelling? And she goes, Zach, have you even thought about this? Have you even thought about what's gonna happen? Like, we need to talk about these twins. We need to talk about this. And he was like, ain't nothing to talk about. We good. Everything's fine. And she was like, you're saying that, but have you really thought about this? Have you actually thought about us going from not just one child who's special needs to now twins, the possibility of twins, and me being in law school? So that's 3 kids and me being in law school. Have you thought about all of that? And Zach was like, we're going to be fine. Ain't nothing to think about. We're going to be good. I got you. And this is where personally, I think that Fatima her follow-up question should have been, okay, Zach, you're saying we're going to be good, and I hear you, but what's the plan? Example, and I'm gonna give y'all an example of my personal life. Okay, I've been married and with my husband. I've been married to my husband for almost 16 years. We've been together for 18 years. Anytime my husband says to me, babe, I got you, I nothing else has to be said after that. I already know that I trust his word and I know he got me. And the reason why is because anytime he tells me something, look, babe, I'm thinking about something. Okay, I'm thinking about doing this. This is plan A. I've already thought about plan B, the possibility of plan C, and this is what I want to do with it. This is how much it's going to cost. What do you think about? What do you think about everything that I've said? I want to know your thoughts. So, what you think about it? Are you on board with it? Before I started, are you okay with it? And he'll hear me out and all of that, and we will make a decision together. And because of that, and because our relationship has always been like that, even before we got married and we was just dating, I trust it. I trust everything that man says. No lie. I believe that if Zach were to do that and not just say, Fatima, we good. I got it. We good. Because Zach, bro, no, you do not have it. You have $1 million, which is almost gone. You have 3 kids, possibly. And you barely go to work every day. What do you mean? What's the plan? And that's what in my opinion, that is what Fatima is wanting. She is wanting the plan. Fatima will likely follow this man any and everywhere if he has a legit plan to go along with it. So I think that that's what they need to talk about. So Fatima gets frustrated and she's like, Zach, this is too much. I can't. And she walks away. She storms off. And he was like, so we back to that. We back to you just walking away and not talking. And she says, I need a minute. And I thought that was interesting. And she did go out. I do think that there was a lapse as far as the scenes go. I think the scenes got mixed up because we do see her going to the bar, and she ends up running into Danny. Now I do think because she had on a robe and stuff like that when her and Zach was talking, but then the scene at the bar, she has on her work clothes. Now if we know Fatima, if she go to the bar and stuff like that, she's not gonna have on her work clothes if she's been home first. So I think I personally, because I pay attention, I think the scenes just got mixed up. Okay, so she's at the bar. She runs into Danny, and they was like, hey girl, and stuff, and so Danny was like, oh, I'm just sitting here. I'm waiting on Sabrina and Rich. And I'm waiting on my man Tony. We're supposed to, double date and stuff like that. And so right now I'm just having a drink. So Fatima is like, oh, well, you mind if I join you while you wait? And so she was like, sure. So they get to talking, and Danny tells Danny tells Fatima that she knew that Tony had kids, but she ran into him when she had went to his office to try to give him some, and the kids ran out and ended up seeing her naked. And so she was like, she was like, look, I know I like him, but I don't know if I like kids or if I even want to be a mom, And she was like, this is just not how I pictured my life. She was like, and so Fatima was like, look, girl, I understand. First of all, she laughed, of course, she laughed about the situation or whatever, but she heard Danny out. First of all, I wanna say that Danny and Fatima interaction is something that I, as a fan of the show, have been excited for, because I actually love seeing them on camera together. Shout out to Crystal Renee and Mignon, because they are excellent actors. And I think that they have really good chemistry on camera together. And I also think that their characters, Danny and Fatima, I've also said that I think that they get along good. And I've always said that since their first interaction together back in season 2, like, it was just something about them two that clicked. I think that Fatima has something that Danny needs, and Danny has something that Fatima needs. Neither pull no punches. They both tell the truth, and I like it. So hopefully the writers will keep it going and we can see where it goes, right? And also, Fatima was the one who convinced Danny that therapy is a good thing. And Danny is actually in therapy to this day, right now, because of Fatima's nudge. So I like it. But anyway, so Fatima starts confiding in Danny about the fact, about Zach and all these kids. In Fatima's voice, Zach and all these dang kids. Oh my gosh. But she tells Danny about that, and Danny is like, she was like, look, I love Zach, but this is a lot, and I don't think that he's considering my feelings. And I also like the fact that Fatima did not say anything about Karen. Danny, and the only thing that Danny said about Karen is she was like, yeah, Karen told us that she is having twins. That's all she said. And nothing negative about Karen came up. Not that it was supposed to, which was a good thing, right? So that happened. They laughed and joked and stuff, and at the end all be all, they both came to the conclusion that they have a lot of stuff in common. They both heard each other out. They both said to each other, look, your feelings are valid, and your man should listen to you, and you need to tell your man how you feel. And I actually like that, and the reason I like that is because we don't get to see Danny say to her friends, look, your feelings are valid, and Danny's friends take her serious and listen to her. So the fact that Danny had an outlet to where she could say, hey, I hear you. Your feelings are valid. You should say this. You should say how you feel and mean what you say. And it was heard. I loved that. And the fact that it was reciprocated, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that Fatima said to Danny, your feelings are valid. You should say how you feel. And Danny was able to receive that from Fatima. I loved it. I loved seeing it. Reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. So, I absolutely love that. So, Sabrina finally comes in. She gives Fatima a hug, which was something that I was shocked to see. But anyway, she gave Fatima a hug. Hey, Fatima girl. Good to see you, friend. It gave those vibes. Like, they had been cool for the longest. And she was like, you want to join us? And she was like, and Fatima was like, no, I'm good. Yeah, it was good to see you though. And so it looked to me that Fatima said to Danny, you want to do this again? And Danny was like, yeah, girl, yeah, let's do it again. So that happened, and Fatima left. Well, they introduced Fatima to Rich and Tony, and then Fatima left. So Rich and Tony sat down with Sabrina and Danny. They got to talking and stuff. The conversation between those four literally was Tony talking about his kids and Sabrina eating it up. You can tell that Sabrina literally orchestrated that double date just to talk about his kids, just so she could pretty much nudge to Rich, like, see there, your homeboy got kids. Why you don't want kids? That's the energy. That's the vibe that it gave. See there, your homeboy got kids. He like being a dad. He got pictures in his phone. See there, he got pictures in his phone of his kids. Why you don't want kids? See there, Rich and Danny was looking like, I don't even know what I'm here for, And Sabrina says, "Oh, y'all, I have some really good news. I got some good news today. I got some good news today." And they was like, and Rich was like, "Oh, what was the good news?" And my friend Karen is having twins. Yay. And Rich was looking like, "Okay." And Tony was like, "Oh, that's good news." And meanwhile, Danny looking like, "Now, Sabrina, why would you even tell these dudes that they don't know Karen like that? Why are you..." Again, which goes back to the point that I made earlier. We see on social media a lot how Danny is wrong for conversing with Fatima, or Andy is wrong for being friends with Fatima, knowing that her best friend Karen doesn't like Fatima. Meanwhile, Sabrina, in this episode, Sabrina has told 3 men her best friend Karen, whom these men don't know. She done told her best friend Karen's business to 3 men whom Karen don't know at all. And to me, that's messy. Far more messy than these women conversing with Fatima. Because here I am thinking you about to announce that you had the appointment and you're gonna start IVF, and that you are going to freeze your eggs, or that you're going or that you apply for the branch manager job. Nope. You done announced to the whole table. You done announced to the whole table that your homegirl is pregnant with twins. And these dudes don't even know Karen like that. Why, sis? Oh, I get it. You are announcing it because, once again, your boyfriend does not want kids, and you're trying to make him want kids, when it would just be easier to just leave him alone. Y'all clearly want 2 different things. Just leave him alone. I also kind of going backwards a little bit, going back to when Karen made the announcement, I kind of got the vibe that Sabrina, I saw a little bit of a few comments about Danny, being a hater, and how Danny jealous and stuff like that. Honestly, I think that I detect a little bit of jealousy from Sabrina. Would y'all agree that there could be some jealousy from Sabrina? Because I think that I believe I could argue that that's where the writers are going. That Sabrina is jealous. Here I am wanting a family. Here I am wanting kids, and Karen is pregnant, and here she is now got 2 on the way, and she don't even want them. I'll bet you that's where the writers is going. I could bet that that's where the writers are going, right? But anyway, that was that. They end up leaving. Danny and Tony go home, and they go do what they do. And Sabrina and Rich, I guess they go do what they do. I don't know. It goes back to Gary. Gary finds out that he's in trouble because investors and stuff is pulling out because of it coming out that it was a lie, that the card he pulled was a lie, right? And so investors and stuff is pulling out of his hedge fund business and stuff like that. So yeah, he's in trouble, and he makes the comment, we need to do what we talked about. We need to take her out. And it looks like he could be talking about either Penelope or he could be talking about Danny. I'm not Danny, I'm sorry. Penelope or Andy. We don't know yet. But that was the episode. You guys let me know how you like it. And I will more than likely do the trailer breakdown for episode 10 over the weekend. Y'all have a good one.